Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another edition of Alive with Claudia and Clive, turning your passion into profit. My name is Clive Swirsky. My co-host Claudia Fox is unable to be with us today. And once again, I have two very special guests I'll be introducing in a very short while. To start the show off, I'm going to give you my words of wisdom for today. Now, a few years ago, I attended an event, and it was an event in Los Angeles, and the MC was this amazing woman with more charisma than I had ever seen in any person. She was performing magnificently on stage, and she sang this song by Leanne Womack called I Hope You Dance. Her name is Lynn Rose. She's an MC in LA, a good friend of mine now, and this song, these lyrics, are particularly inspiring. And so what I would like to do today is to say these lyrics. Because I can sing, or so they tell me, I'm going to tell you what these lyrics are. And the song is, again, I Hope You Dance, and it goes like this. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. Get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the urge, the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Now that song has become one of my favorite songs whenever I'm confronted with a challenge, whenever I have the tendency or the urge to sit back and say, oh, this is hopeless, what's the point? I always think of these lyrics, and I always think of I hope you dance. When you're given the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. And my wish for you as well is that when you have that choice to sit it out or dance, when you are faced with going with the path of least resistance or not, I hope you dance. So with that, I want to welcome my guest today, Michael Shillelagh, who is an architect, and Gene Moore, who is a musician. He has been on before, but we always love having him back, and he's going to sing for us today again, which is really great. I always love hearing his songs. So to start the show off, Michael, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
And you're an architect, and since this show is all about turning your passion into profit, I would imagine that's your passion. And so can you tell us when it was you discovered that architecture was your passion, and tell us a little bit about your background, your history, and how you got to be where you are today?
Oh, sure, Clive. It is exciting to be here. I consider architecture not only my vocation and passion, but my hobby as well. My family, whenever we vacation, we always look for some significant work of architecture to spend some time at. And as a young man, I was more of an artist, and a father who was a stockbroker suggested I pick up a more distinguished profession, and he had two younger brothers who were struggling artists, and sort of pushed me into architecture. And once I was at RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, I fell in love with the profession, and really spend most of my time either practicing it or experiencing it throughout the world, and in my vacations and in my tours.
So what do you think it is about architecture that grabs you like that?
It really is a consummate art, and I was happy I was on with a musician, because I'm a frustrated musician, a frustrated photographer and painter, and architecture really takes all of those rhythms and tones and spaces and places and color and texture and puts it all together and really tries to make a difference in people's lives. And Winston Churchill once said, first we shape our environments and thereafter our environments shape us. And in a lot of the work we do, we make a huge difference in the lives of people with disabilities or in educational environments. And it's kind of exciting to see what good architecture could do, and sort of, scary to see what bad architecture could do, or buildings that are harmful to people, if not collapsing, then at least creating poor environments to live, learn, work, and play.
Now, people are going to be watching this show, and they're obviously going to be wondering, well, Michael, what buildings have you designed, and how can I see your work? So what are some of your favorite projects, the ones you're most proud of? What are some that maybe you're not that proud of?
Oh, those are great questions. One of my favorite projects is a therapeutic pool facility I had done almost 10 years ago now for an agency called Camp Venture, and perhaps some of your listeners know of Kathleen Lukin. Certainly they would have heard of Willowbrook and the Geraldo Rivera expose in the late 70s, I believe it was, and the conditions on a lot of the state institutions that would care for people with developmental disabilities or the mentally retarded. And this facility was, when I first went there, it was an above-ground swimming pool, small 16-foot diameter pool that they would take people in wheelchairs up on a wooden ramp, lift them out of the chairs, and put them in the water. And these are people who are confined to wheelchairs but are not paralyzed. They are so developmentally disabled, their muscles are too weak to hold them up. But in water, the buoyancy of water allows them to move their arms and legs and experience what Kathleen Lukens would call an incredible lightness of being. And so where many of our projects, we're challenging our clients to see a vision that perhaps is beyond what they have now. With our work with Kathleen Lukens and Camp Venture, we're always challenged to have the building live up to the vision that our clients have of what it could be. And we won a design award for that building, and some local artists who did some work nearby call it a very happy building, and that was sort of a very nice thing to say. It's we're challenged constantly to meet building codes and keep buildings safe and keep people's feet warm and their heads dry, but it's the art aspects of architecture that drive me.
So what was some of the unique characteristics of that particular project that enabled you to win that award?
Oh, it's an exciting building. There's this stained glass window, an oculus, that one of the staff members of Camp Venture created the work. I had designed the butterfly, which is the logo of Camp Venture, to be done in stained glass in 9 different panes, and one of their staff members actually created the glass there. So sort of an oculus looking in and out of this building where this very special thing happens. It's connected to an old girls' high school, Rosary Academy, that now is Long Island University Rockland's campus, as well as a center for about 200 developmentally disabled adults who come there to learn different skills to help them in their daily lives, and every day now throughout the year can experience the benefits of this water therapy. There's a ramp that goes into the pool, 2 ramps, and we did a lot of research on a dignified way to get someone in a wheelchair into the pool, and a lot of times the municipal pools are actually required to have a lift, which is sort of an undignified way, I think, to have someone enter a pool. And this ramp allows people to be put into a shower chair and enter a pool almost like you and I would.
Wow. Now, when you go to visit a project, a prospective client, and you see the property, you see what they present you with, do you go to some distant place where there's complete solitude and think about it? How do you come up with the concept for the plan?
Oh, that's an interesting question. It's really not a divine inspiration that gives us our ideas, although it's really the collaboration with our clients, and you do get ideas at strange times. I'm sure Gene comes up with some of his rhythms and lyrics at different times of the day or evening, and but when you're challenged with a lot of different, and architecture has so many different needs, goals, dreams, and desires that we try to have our clients crystallize. So we're really not designing for ourselves. We're really designing for our clients and for our communities. And It's a collaborative process. Certainly, I think the creativity comes in sort of synthesizing all of the different parameters that affect our projects and trying to create experiences and places that make people feel good about themselves and that make people do better in their jobs. And even in the schoolwork that we do, test scores have improved in some of the environments that have more daylighting.
Wow.
Tests have shown, and research shows in the environments we do for young people in early childhood, the children learn more from their environments than they do from their teachers and siblings and other children in the class. So we spend a lot of time trying to create environments that make a difference in people's lives.
Now, how many years would you say it takes for an architect to reach his or her prime?
Many architects are in their prime much later in their lives than most other careers. One of my favorite architects, Louis Kahn, didn't reach his prime till 40s or 50s. And although Frank Lloyd Wright, one of the most well-known American architects, I think, was a child prodigy, perhaps, and certainly in his young years, in his 20s, did quite a lot of work outside of Chicago. But certainly some of his masterpieces, the Guggenheim in New York City, was designed when he was in his 70s. Mm-hmm. So it's a challenging art and profession, and it needs to be a life's vocation, I think.
Now, would you say you're at your prime right now?
Oh, I hope not.
So you're still climbing that
I
way?
still have a lot of dreams and a lot of ideas what I'd like to achieve. We were talking about that at lunch today in our office. We have a young student going to Rhode Island School of Design, and we were talking about the Ideal Commission and some of the newer projects that Frank Gehry has done, the Disney Performing Arts Center in Los Angeles. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, or the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, which are masterpieces of architecture and art, are few and far between for most of us architects. But those are the buildings that really make a difference in our lives. The one in Spain is talked about as stopping a war, actually, in northern Spain when the UTA, the Basque separatists, were fighting, and Bilbao was a very industrial city that really had a lot of economic problems, and the enthusiasm and the goodwill that happened from this new museum there and the economic activity that it created actually allowed this terrorist organization to unilaterally let down their arms. And it's really a lack of hope, I think, that causes people to take up these terrorist activities. And if you can bring that hope and that economic opportunity to people, I think you can make a difference in people's lives. Maybe not stop all of the wars that we have, but certainly make a difference.
Well, it's really been great hearing what you have to say, and I want to give Gene a chance to tell us what he's been up to lately.
Great.
So Gene, it's been great. It's great having you back.
Thanks for having
Always welcome you here, and tell us what's been happening in your career, in your music career.
Sure.
And we look forward to hearing you play.
The biggest thing that's going on right now that's pretty much taken up all the free time that I have, I think we might have talked about this the last time, I'm developing a multimedia component for my music shows. So along with me performing will be a large screen with a lot of imagery and words, either the lyrics to my songs or supporting text. Mm-hmm. That's really going to bring like a whole another dimension to the song, you know, to give you a little more insight into either what I was thinking or supporting it, the ideas that way visually. And it's just an enormous amount of work, but I'm getting through it. I think 2 more to go, and I'm ready to go. So in September, hopefully, I'll be rolling out these shows, and maybe you can make one of them.
Absolutely. So do you have any planned that are down on the schedule?
Yeah, the problem is I'm going to be having the first couple of shows at a church near where I live. And it's a perfect space for it, but coincidentally, like 2 weeks ago, they just started painting it, the inside of the church, which is where we're going to do these shows. So I have to give it a little time to degas. I don't want to, have anybody hallucinate if they come in there. So I'm thinking by like the second week of September we'll be ready to go.
So you're going to have like a video for every song?
Yeah, there's slideshows actually. So I'm using a lot of stock imagery, some images that I shoot myself, and it's hard to explain what it's going to be like. But I mean, you can picture it right in your head.
Sure.
It's just
Absolutely.
The images will sometimes have a twist to them. I do a song called "See You," and it's a lot about looking at people and making a quick assumption about just how they look and how you think their life is, and kind of flipping that on its head a few times, and just getting you to appreciate people in a way you might not have saw them like before.
Wow. So that sounds like a very exciting project.
Yeah, it's really, I'm pretty excited about it. I've been thinking about this for a long time. This is hard to do, as you know.
Yeah.
I've got my whole other job to do, and
Right.
trying to fit this in. So, getting through it though.
Well, definitely when people come to one of your shows, the more stimuli that you can provide, it makes for a much more engaging experience. And
Yes.
so I think this could really be huge for you.
I'm trying to reach people at a level, like when you go to see a very powerful movie, that moment in the movie that your heart just opens up, you see your own life clearly, you see everybody else around you a little more clear, and that emotion just floods you. That's when I'm trying to bring my audience to that state in an hour.
Wow, that's great.
No easy task, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to work with this.
I'm confident too, believe me. So what song are you going to play for us today?
This is a song called Trade for Away. How do I explain this? Do you know this song?
No,
on my
I
CD?
don't remember.
Okay. This was written at a very sad point in my life. I hate to say it. Everybody tells me my material needs to be happier. This is as dark as it's going to get, One of the things that happened to me, I reached a point where just everything's going wrong. You name it, it's all screwed up. And I took a step back for a minute. I'm looking at my life going, you're so lucky, but you don't get it. So I kind of, not the word fantasize, but I wish I could just give everything I had to someone else who has nothing. Because I'm not using it. I don't need it. It's not bringing me any happiness. I wish I could just give it to somebody else and take what they've got. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to do 3 different jobs, and I'm just stressed out of my mind. And this person that I know that's in a wheelchair, they don't do very much during the day. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe I just need to sit still, close my eyes, and just get rid of all the clutter and all the stimuli that just hitting me like a truck,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like this all the time, but that particular moment, that's what was going through my head. So that's the song. It's called Trade for Away. I'll just do the quick version. I wish I could give all my money away to someone who's hungry and poor. Maybe then I would treasure whatever I had and stop trying to always have more. I wish I could give my eyes to the blind. The world's become too bright for me. I've searched every channel, but I can't find the truth. Only drugs, they assure us we need. All of my gifts I would give to you, the ones you've been living without. Maybe then I could whatever I will, let's you and me work something out. Trade for away to give you my blessings and take all your pain. Trade far away to treasure my life again. I wish I could give my good health away to someone who's not well today. Maybe then I'd stop running to be somewhere else, and you finally could be on your way. I'd give you my voice, 'cause the words I've said have caused too much sorrow and pain. Maybe then I'd stop running and be somewhere else, and you finally could be on your way. Trade far away to give you my blessings and take all your pain. Trade far away to treasure my life again. To treasure my life again. To treasure my life again.
Well, since there's no
All right.
that's great.
Sorry, I completely goofed up the words.
You're
Sorry.
human after all. So last time you mentioned that there was this organization in Europe that
Yeah.
you were part of this CD, right?
Yeah, it's a compilation CD. It comes out in September. It's called The Big Indie Comeback. And there's about 12 artists on there. And one of my songs got selected, to be on that disc. So it's really nice. It's a whole other company going to be doing all kinds of marketing and promotion and that I don't have to do.
Yeah. So, for example, will VH1 or MTV feature this?
I have no idea. Yeah, it could mushroom into something that big. I think we're going to see a lot of activity on the download sites. iTunes might host it for a while. They have a whole lot of radio promotion planned, things like that.
Do they
So
maybe?
who knows? Could turn into a tour. I don't know.
So so it would be
Yeah.
great if you had a concert and each one on that CD
Yeah.
sang his or her song.
They might do that.
Wow,
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we'll see. Just riding it out for now.
that would be excellent.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, Michael, we have about 4 minutes left. I want to make sure you get a chance to tell people how they can reach you. So please do that,
Oh,
and then
that's great.
Gene can tell us as well.
Sure.
Yeah, well, we're based in New City, just across the river here. We do work from Manhattan to Monticello in northern Jersey. We have a website, www.shillelagh.com, and you can call our office at 845-708-9200. We help, over the last 15 years, I would say, in excess of 1,500 projects for various educational, institutional, commercial, and residential clients. We really help clients solve their building problems, protect their assets and investments, save money. We think we do that better than anyone else, and build their dreams and visions. That's what we're about.
That's great. Gene, how about you? How can people find out more about you?
My website, genemoremusic.com. There's all kinds of stuff on there. There's schedules on there. There's photos. There's videos. There's music. There's downloads. There's a free download on there.
Great.
So lots of good stuff on there. There's an oddities section too.
Right.
I went back to the archives. Some really funny stuff. I had really long hair and
Great.
really heavy bands, big metal bands and stuff. It's kind of funny stuff, but fun section.
Okay, so I would recommend check out genemoremusic.com.
Yeah.
So we have about just over 2 minutes. Is there anything you'd like to tell the viewers about pursuing your passion? What advice would you like people to have as like a takeaway?
If you're interested in architecture, it's something that will reward you, I think, for the rest of your life. The way Gene talks about that one point in a movie or in a piece of music that shows you who you are and where you are in the world. Architecture does that for a lifetime. It's a wonderful opportunity, but a huge responsibility. It's not like music or art that you don't have to look at or listen to. Yeah. We live with our buildings and in our communities, good or bad. Yeah. So we're challenged constantly to try to make our communities better places to live. And AIA, I'm president of our chapter here in the Lower Hudson Valley, and we're working hard with our community leaders and our planners and just our citizens to try to help them understand that and build more beautiful, safe, livable communities that are environmentally sensitive. That's a huge issue now for architects and developers, and we want to make sure that people are not making some of the mistakes of the past, and that we're building communities that are accessible to people with disabilities and are beautiful places that are sensitive to the environment and good places to live, and that's a challenge sometimes.
One final question. When you drive down areas where you have put up buildings, do you think to yourself, well, that came out okay, that should have been better? What are your thoughts?
Our most exciting projects are our newest ones, and as Beethoven would constantly be changing his scores, and Frank Lloyd Wright was known to go into his buildings and rearrange furniture long after he was done with them. I haven't tried that yet, but certainly I always believe a finished building is less than the ideal vision that we've had, and that it always could be better, but I think it's good that way. I think it's good that the vision be an ideal, and when you have to deal with the challenges of building materials and building codes and the reality of putting all this together in a way that moves people and solves a functional program and comes in under budget and on time, it will be less than the ideal vision, but I think that's okay. And and it's not all our decisions, Clive. A lot of it are our clients and our school boards and our institutions deciding what their ultimate buildings would be like. And so our challenge is to get them to understand that and try to do the best we can reaching that vision.
Well, thank you very much. I've really enjoyed having you on the show today. I've learned a tremendous amount. Gene, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you having me.
Okay.
Great to be here. Thanks.